Hey readers, how are you doing? I'm excited to be here today. I'm gonna have some fun today because we are going to read a book from one of the series that I love, and it is Amelia Bedelia. I love Amelia Bedelia, and I haven't done one in a while, but these are probably some of my most fun books to read, and so I'm excited to share this with you. This is Amelia Bedelia and the Surprise Shower. It's by Peggy Parish. Pictures by Fritz Siebel, which is also a really cool name, Fritz Siebel. And let's get into this story, Amelia Bedelia and the Surprise Shower. There was a knock on the back door. Coming, called Amelia Bedelia. She opened the door. Oh, it's you, cousin Alcaloo, she said. Do come in. Mrs. Rogers asked me to help out today, said Alcaloo. Is she having a party or something? Oh, sorry, that's still him. Is she having a party or something? Every Tuesday, said Amelia Bedelia. Some ladies get together. They just sew and talk. But today, Miss Alma is in for a real surprise. Wonder what's going to happen here, Amelia Bedelia. Those other ladies are giving Miss Alma a shower. A shower? Said Alcaloo. A surprise shower, said Amelia Bedelia. So if you don't know what a shower is, it's like when they do like a party, like if somebody's having a baby or getting married, they do like it's kind of a party, but they shower them with gifts and give lots of gifts to them. And so that's why it's called a shower, just so you know. But there's also other types of shower, and I'm sure Amelia Bedelia may kind of know what's going on with this. Now, why would they want to do that to her? Asked Alcaloo. Miss Alma is nice. I don't know, said Amelia Bedelia. She's about to get married. They should do something nice for her. She can give herself a shower. You folks do have a funny way, said Alcaloo. Say, are you cooking something? My cupcakes, said Amelia Bedelia. She ran to the oven. Just right, she said. They need to cool a bit. Then I'll ice them. Mr. Rogers came in. Good morning, Amelia Bedelia. Good morning, Alcaloo, said Mr. Rogers. My, what a nice lot of fish, said Amelia Bedelia. He caught a lot of fish, didn't he? That's crazy. I'm not very good at fishing, by the way. They should taste good, said Mr. Rogers. Please scale them and ice them. All right, said Amelia Bedelia. Say, Mr. Rogers, did you ever hear of giving somebody a surprise shower? Oh, yes, said Mr. Rogers. It's like a surprise party, and they shower the person with gifts. That is why it's called a shower. Mr. Rogers looked at his watch. I have to go to town, he said. Mr. Rogers left the kitchen. So he explained to them what it's all about, and that's pretty awesome. By the way, Amelia Bedelia, said Alcaloo, Mr. Rogers told me to prune the hedge. Could you show me how? I'd be glad to, said Amelia Bedelia. She went to the cupboard. She took out a box of prunes. Uh-oh, where's this going? Amelia Bedelia and Alcaloo went to the hedge. Now, said Amelia Bedelia, you take a prune, then you stick it on like this. Is that all there is to do? Asked Alcaloo. Prune it well, said Amelia Bedelia. So as you can see, she's putting prunes on the hedges. I don't think that's what that means. If you're not familiar with what that term, pruning means you trim off parts of it so it's all nice and level and even. That's what it technically means to prune, but she's pruning it by putting prunes on that. I know this ruins the fun of the book because I'm explaining the jokes, but I just want to help for those who don't quite understand what's going on. All right. Mrs. Rogers likes things done right. Amelia Bedelia went to the kitchen. Oh, Plum, I forgot my cupcakes, she said. And I must make the chocolate icing. Amelia Bedelia put some of this and a little of that into a big pot. She stirred and stirred. Then she tasted the icing. Just right, she said. Amelia Bedelia began to ice her cakes. Uh-oh. Do you remember what Mr. Rogers wanted done with the fish? Let's find out what happens. The fish, she said. Mr. Rogers said to scale them and ice them. Amelia Bedelia got the scales. She piled the fish on them. There, she said. You just scale yourselves while I ice the cakes. So she just put them on a scale. Again, fish, if you don't know, scaling means to kind of peel the outer layer, because fish have scales. So it means to peel that kind of outer layer of skin off them. That's what it means by scaling, not to put them on a scale. Got it? Got it. And Amelia Bedelia iced her cakes. Those do look nice, she said. And there's enough icing left to ice the fish, too. Amelia Bedelia picked up the fish by its tail. I hope you've scaled long enough, she said. So, she iced one side of the fish, then she iced the other side. Amelia Bedelia worked until the last fish was iced. That takes care of you, she said. Amelia Bedelia put the iced fish and the iced cakes in the cupboard. Mrs. Rogers came into the kitchen. There you have some iced fish, raw by the way, and iced cakes. Amelia Bedelia, use this tablecloth for the table, she said. Do run over it first with an iron, and we need to get some flowers, said Miss Rogers. She went out the back door. Amelia Bedelia unfolded the tablecloth, put it on the floor. Then Amelia Bedelia got the iron, and she ran all over the tablecloth. So see, she's running all over while holding the iron, not running the iron over it. Amelia Bedelia put the tablecloth on the table. Alkaloo came over to Amelia Bedelia. Take care of that, he said. I even put some prunes left. Oh, that takes care of that, he said. I even have some prunes left. So I pruned the other bushes too. That does look nice, she said. Miss Rogers will be mighty pleased. Amelia Bedelia and Alkaloo met Miss Rogers at the back door. Miss Rogers came in with a bunch of flowers. She put them on the kitchen table. Amelia Bedelia, she said, use the large silver bowl for the cut flowers. All right, said Amelia Bedelia. Miss Rogers left the kitchen. Uh-oh, she left Amelia Bedelia in there alone. Let's see what happens. She came right back with a basket of gifts. These are for Miss Alma's shower, she said. We will start sewing as we always do. Then, when all the ladies are here, we will say, surprise! Then comes the shower. Can you and Alkaloo take care of everything? Oh, yes, said Amelia Bedelia. We'll see to everything. Amelia Bedelia and Alkaloo at this party, running this thing. These flowers are so pretty, said Amelia Bedelia. It's a shame to cut them. She said cut flowers, said Alkaloo. Let me help you. So Amelia Bedelia and Alkaloo fixed the bowl of cut flowers. So they're cutting all the flowers up and putting them into the bowl. We do have some figuring out to do, she said. I thought those ladies were supposed to be given the shower, and here we are giving it. If we had known, said Alkaloo, we could have fixed up something fancy. It's too late for that now, said Amelia Bedelia. The two of them went outside. Amelia Bedelia saw a garden hose. Think this'll do? Think this'll do? Asked Alkaloo. All right, they got a hose for the shower. Well, it's not really a shower, said Amelia Bedelia, but it's the next best thing. I will give her the gifts and you can shower her. The gifts will get wet, said Alkaloo. They're shower gifts, said Amelia Bedelia. But what if they get wet? We will get wet too. Well, said Alkaloo, we can put on something else. What a good idea, said Amelia Bedelia. Hide those gifts first, said Alkaloo. Oh, hide those gifts first, said Alkaloo. Amelia Bedelia hid the basket of gifts under some bushes. It's time to get ready, she said. Oh man, they're getting ready. This shower is going to be something else. A bit later, Amelia Bedelia heard the car stop. Here come the ladies. Oh, here come the ladies, she called to Miss Rogers. I'm figuring out the voices. Gotta go roll me. Miss Rogers hurried out to meet them. Mrs. Ralph came first, and with her came her 4 children. Look, they shouted, prunes on the hedge. The children went racing past. The kids are excited about the prunes on the hedge. Do you like to eat prunes? I don't mind. I like plums, not so much prunes. More and more ladies came. They began to sew, but Miss Alma did not come. Where's Miss Alma? Everybody asked, but nobody knew. Mrs. Rogers looked at the table. Footprints, said Miss Rogers. Amelia Bedelia, what did you do to that tablecloth? I ran over it with an iron, said Amelia Bedelia. Should I have taken my shoes off first? Oh, Amelia Bedelia. Oh, never mind, said Miss Rogers. Amelia Bedelia, where are the cut flowers? She asked. Oh my, said Amelia Bedelia, I forgot them. Amelia Bedelia ran in to get the flowers. Miss Rogers looked at the bowl. Amelia Bedelia, she cried. What did you do to those flowers? I cut them, said Amelia Bedelia. You said to fix a bowl and of cut flowers. So there it is. Just trying to be helpful. Just trying to be helpful, that's all. Just then Miss Alma drove up. Here she is, said the ladies. Sorry to be late, said Alma, but I have a headache. I'm sorry, said Mrs. Rogers. You just sit down. Miss Rogers turned to Amelia Bedelia. Are you ready for the shower? She asked. We'll need a minute or two, said Amelia Bedelia. She called Alkaloo. They went back to the back of the house. There they are, getting ready. And there stood Amelia Bedelia and Alkaloo. In bathing suits. All right, called Amelia Bedelia. We're ready. Then all the ladies shouted, Surprise! Surprise! Shouted Amelia Bedelia. She ran out with the gifts and dumped them on Alma's lap. Here are the gifts, she said. Alkaloo came right behind her with the hose. And here's the shower, he shouted. And they hosed her down at the shower. A shower, screamed Miss Ralph's 4 children, and they jumped into the shower with Miss Alma. And all the ladies screamed too, and they jumped out of the shower. So the kids jump in, as typical kids do. I would hope I would too. And they jumped out. Miss Alma leaped up, her gifts flew all over the place. How dare you, she shouted. Miss Alma was angry. She was very angry. Amelia Bedelia, Alkaloo, shouted Miss Rogers. Turn off that water this minute. Everybody's soaking wet. Amelia Bedelia and Alkaloo turned off the water. Did you see how mad Miss Alma was? Asked Alkaloo. I don't think she liked our shower, said Amelia Bedelia. Maybe some hot tea will help her. Amelia Bedelia and Alkaloo went to the kitchen. I'll take the tea thing, said Amelia Bedelia. You bring the cupcakes. Here's the tea, said Amelia Bedelia. Thank goodness for that, said Miss Rogers. That chocolate looks good, said Mrs. Ralph. Oh, I don't know what her voice said. She said it looks good. Help yourself, said Mrs. Rogers. Uh-oh. The iced fish are coming into play. Miss Ralph helped herself to the biggest piece. She took her fork. Miss Ralph tried to cut it, but it would not cut. And Miss Ralph wanted that chocolate. She picked it up and bit it. Ooh, she screamed. Fish! Raw fish! Miss Ralph was angry. She was very angry. I would be angry too, because I love chocolate, and I would be upset if there was a raw fish inside my chocolate. Mr. Rogers came out just then. Hear what Miss Ralph said. Fish, he said. Amelia Bedelia, what did you do to my fish? Ask them, said Amelia Bedelia. Now Mr. Rogers was very angry too. Uh-oh, people are angry, eating raw fish. Suddenly, Miss Alma started laughing. Everybody looked at her. She jumped up and threw her arms around Amelia Bedelia. You are wonderful, said Miss Alma. My headache is all gone. That surprise shower is just what I needed. Then Miss Ralph laughed. I forgot her voice. Amelia Bedelia. She asked, did you prune the hedge? Cousin Alkaloo did that, said Amelia Bedelia. Then he's wonderful too, said Miss Ralph. See how happy the children are? They've never been this good. They got a hose, they got prunes, everything's just running just fine. And suddenly everyone was laughing. Ha! My book's seen better days. Miss Rogers began to pour the tea. Amelia Bedelia served the chocolate cupcakes. The ladies said they were the best cupcakes they've ever eaten. That was so much fun, said all the ladies, and they laughed some more. And then they picked up Miss Alma's gifts. And they were still laughing when they left. Ah! So, all right. Well, everything turned out. That's Amelia Bedelia in the Surprise Shower. Hope you enjoyed it. I love these books. They crack me up. Keep reading. I'd love to hear more books what you'd love to see and hear. So let me know on that. Have a great day. Keep reading. I'm honored to be here with you. Appreciate you guys. Bye.